first award is from our friends at Motorola. So George, would you please join us? George Crosman.
Mind if I say a few words, or is that okay? And Hamilton Police Service, as well as the guests that are here today. It's certainly an honor to be here representing Motorola to celebrate your IACP Motorola Weber CV Award. It's certainly a wonderful opportunity today to recognize your commitment, your creativity, and your leadership. We all know that 2012 has certainly been a particularly challenging year for all of us, especially for you as leaders in law enforcement, as we work together to build a safe environment in our communities. Many of you are faced with economic challenges and operational pressures that you've certainly never seen before. The need to collaborate and share best practices is more critical than ever. Motorola is certainly working diligently to support the law enforcement community during these challenging times, and we're proud of our partnership with the IACP. The Weber CV program is one example of how we work together to truly make an impact in providing safer communities. The work you and your agencies lead every day comes with an awesome responsibility, and we're committed to helping you get the job done. Programs like the Weber CV Award that promote quality in law enforcement are absolutely essential. That's why we continue to honor the critical role law enforcement plays in each of our lives. For many people, when they talk about the critical role first responders play in their lives, they really are talking about the critical role you play as law enforcement leaders. For all of us who benefit from what you do, thank you so much for everything you do every day, your commitment, your creativity, your courage, and the leadership you bring to your jobs each day. It gives me great pleasure, Chief DeCare, to present the IACP Motorola Weber CV Award for Quality in Law Enforcement for your program addressing crime trends in our neighborhood strategies. Congratulations to you as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Motorola for the sponsorship of this very prestigious award that is given out in law enforcement. And I'd like to have Scott Raston come up, please.
Should we?
And receive this from the service to all of the members that carry out this important strategy for us. Well done.
Thank you very much. This has been proudly displayed in the Action World Headquarters.
Congratulations, and on behalf of the board, we congratulate you and all the members for the outstanding work that you're providing in this community. And for us to win an international award, it really is a great testament to all the great work that the men and women do. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the Police Services Board, Chief DeCare, Chief Ingerts, absent, and Deputy Chief Gert, senior officers, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ryan Diodati, and I am the Executive Officer to Chief DeCare. Today we have a number of awards to present. To begin with, could I please have Marine Officers Jeff Hahn and Matt Alcroft please come to the front. Jeff and Matt are being recognized by the Hamilton Police Service as the members of the month for August. On August 31st, 2012, Hamilton Police Marine Unit Officers Alcroft and Hahn were conducting routine marine patrol duties within the Hamilton Harbor. The wind conditions were quite severe, reaching upwards of 20 knots, causing the waves to crest at 1.5 meters. In the area of the Canadian Center for Inland Waters, Officer Alcroft noticed several persons in the water. No radio transmissions for a vessel in distress were noted at this time. On closer investigation, it was apparent that 4 adults and 1 9-year-old girl were in the water, as their powerboat had taken on water, was in the process of sinking. A civilian vessel was also in the area. The vessel's occupants, who were paramedics, were assisting with the rescue by taking 3 people out of the water. The 2 remaining victims were found clinging to their submerged vessel. Due to the high winds and waves, one of the victims began to panic. Officer Hahn immediately jumped into the water, and while in the water, took his own life jacket off and placed it onto the victim to keep her afloat and safe. Officer Allcroft threw Officer Hahn a lifeline and pulled both the officer and the victim to the Hamilton police vessel. Officer Allcroft then assisted the victim on board, and everyone was escorted safely to LaSalle Marine, where EMS treated all involved. The diligence of Officer Allcroft in observing the vessel in distress, the quick reaction of Officer Hahn in entering the water and dealing with a panicked victim, and both officers' skills and teamwork led to the success of the rescue in adverse weather conditions. Well done, Jeff and Matt. Patrol Officer Brody Fullerton, please come forward.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Brody is being recognized by the Hamilton Police Service as our Member of the Month for September. Brody has been a member of the Hamilton Police Service since 2011. On July 15, 2012, Patrol Officer Brody Fullerton was dispatched to a family trouble in progress on Grosvenor Avenue. Officer Fullerton was first on scene and dealing with a distraught female and her immediate family members. Without warning, the female ran to the kitchen and retrieved a butcher's knife and held it to her throat. Officer Fullerton was able to quickly intervene. He grabbed the knife away from her while at the same time ensuring the safety of everyone present. Officer Fullerton, you are being commended for your quick actions in the face of a potentially life-threatening situation. You prevented physical injury, and by diffusing the situation, the female in crisis was able to get the care that she needed. Congratulations, Brody. Chief's Pride Award, person who is really interested in delivering excellence, is presented to members of the Hamilton Police Service who go above and beyond normal expectations. These are special acts of compassion, support, and quality of service that are worthy of recognition. These are the first Pride Awards to be bestowed in 2012. We'd like to call Officer Kim Harvey to the front of the room, please. On September 17, 2012, Division 3 Patrol Officer Kim Harvey responded to a 911 call to assist the fire department with a house fire. Constable Harvey was the first responder on scene and quickly determined that all of the occupants were safely out of the house. Officer Harvey immediately turned her focus to the safety of the surrounding neighbors and began to evacuate homes in the vicinity of the fire. She soon discovered that the family of 5 that were displaced by the fire did not have house insurance or a vehicle, as they had been saving up money to buy a specialized bed, motorized wheelchair, and a chairlift for their son, who suffers from muscular dystrophy. Officer Harvey made arrangements with Red Cross to attend the scene to assist with temporary food and shelter requirements. She was also responsible for establishing a bank account to collect donations made to the family. Constable Harvey made sure to get the story out to the media outlets and kept the story at the forefront of the news. She coordinated donation boxes to be set up at all 3 divisions of the Hamilton Police and organized a food truck event with proceeds going to the family. She facilitated the pickup and drop-offs of donated furniture, clothing, and food. As a result of her dedication and unwavering commitment to assist this family in need, thousands of dollars were donated, along with clothes, a hospital bed, wheelchair ramp, and numerous household items that were needed. Officer Harvey did much of this work on her own time and continuously provided updates to the family as she received many calls and emails wishing the family well and expressing their desire to help in any way possible. To Officer Harvey, thank you for going above and beyond in your efforts of coordinating and promoting various events and initiatives to ensure family in need would get the assistance they so urgently needed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Julie. Thank you.
Before the next Pride Award is presented, I would like to call Inspector Dave Calvert, Officer Brad Robinson, and Officer Pat Desbian to the front of the room, please. The Honorable Lincoln Alexander had the most exceptional tribute to celebrate his life, and this culminated with a state funeral on October 26, 2012. The proceedings in totality were professional, reverent, and respectful, truly befitting of the station and the stature of this great man, this great Hamiltonian, our honorary police chief. It was an extraordinary effort, an effort by many, which brought about this extraordinary tribute. Almost 2 years ago, we provided Incident Command System training to our members. The Incident Command System ensures a coordinated and organized response for large-scale events, such as the Honorable Alexander's funeral. For the funeral and all of the escorts, our plan was deployed with precision and professionalism. While there were many involved, exceptional effort was exhibited by Inspector Dave Calvert, Constable Brad Robinson, and our Honor Guard Sergeant Major Pat Desbian. The command, operations, planning, and logistical components of the state funeral were complex, yet were accomplished seamlessly. Inspector Calvert had the overall responsibility of ensuring the safety and security of all who were attending the funeral, as well as ensuring that the different participating agencies were able to work cooperatively with one another under an organized response structure. This included adherence to provincial protocol. There was an exceptional amount of traffic logistics involving the Honorable Alexander State funeral. These logistics involved escorts to Toronto, back to the City of Hamilton, and the procession prior to the state funeral. Constable Brad Robinson had the singular responsibility of traffic. This involved liaising with city officials and related organizations, coordinating road closures, developing and determining road closures, and ensuring parking was arranged for the influx of people coming to our city to pay their respects. As important as the operations were to the state funeral, so too were the ceremonial aspects. The Hamilton Police Service Honor Guard, under the leadership of Sergeant Pat Desbian, was extraordinary. They joined colleagues from across the province and stood vigil during the time the Honorable Alexander was lying in repose at the Hamilton City Hall. As well, the Honor Guard served with great honor and distinction as the Honorable Alexander's pallbearers at the state funeral. The eyes of the nation saw the precision and professionalism of the Hamilton Police Honor Guard. It was Sergeant Major Desbian's commitment to the service and the Honor Guard that resulted in their flawless performance of duty. Ladies and gentlemen, overall, the state funeral for the Honorable Alexander was a collective endeavor. As a result of the leadership of Inspector David Calvert, Constable Brad Robinson, and Sergeant Major Pat Desbian, what we witnessed, as all of Canada witnessed, was a farewell and remembrance of a great Hamiltonian and Canadian, and the great pride we all have in our city of Hamilton and the Hamilton Police Service. Congratulations.
Superintendent Borden needs to be lifted.
They'll come to you.
They all came from that way.
You must sit in the middle of the table.
Know me, I'm Debbie McGrail-Ditting, and I'm the program coordinator for Crime Stoppers. Amy Altherio is the assistant coordinator for Crime Stoppers, and Ron Rambaran is our chair of the Crime Stoppers board for this year. I want to thank everyone for inviting us here today. We just wanted to share some good news with the Police Services Board, who have always been a great support supporter of Crime Stoppers, so we thank you for that. We just returned recently from our 33rd International Conference in Las Vegas, and Ron's going to say a couple of words about that, and then we'll share our awards with you.
Actually, I wanted to say a few words. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Police Services Board. And I wanted to say a few words about Crime Stoppers. We'll be celebrating our 30th anniversary of service to the Hamilton community next year. The Crime Stoppers of Hamilton was the first of its kind in Ontario, the second of its kind in Canada. And I see some faces around here who are very familiar. Remember, Bill was on the board as the coordinator when I joined the board. That's many moons ago, when dinosaurs still roamed the earth. Glenn, when you start to name people and you miss. We'll be celebrating our 30th anniversary next year, and the success of our program was in no small part due to the support we've had from the Police Services Board and the men and women of the Hamilton Police Services. The Police Services partners have done a wonderful job in following up the tips that we receive to make sure that they are being processed and to make sure that the public is aware that the tips they do give to us are used in a very intentional way. So again, thank you very much, and I'll ask Amy and Debbie to go ahead and describe the awards that we received. Oh, by the way, one last thing. See, once I get going, I don't stop. There are 1,200 programs worldwide, and so for Hamilton to win 4 awards at the international conference was quite an achievement.
Okay, thank you, Ron. Another component of Crime Stoppers, as most of you know, is it doesn't work by itself. We work in partnership, obviously, with the media, who I see some faces here today, the police, of course, and the community. So without all of those parts working equally, the program would not be a success. And we're very fortunate here in Hamilton. We have a great media support, which are the awards that I'm going to tell you about right now. For Best Print Crime of the Week, we put forward our nominations for these awards, and this is in a category of $500,000. And like Ron said, we have many, many representatives in Las Vegas, so a lot of contenders there. And Hamilton won for the Auto Trader, who've always been a really great support to Crime Stoppers. So we did win Best Print Crime of the Week. Those are crimes that here in Hamilton we haven't been able to conclude. There hasn't been a successful arrest at that point. So the investigators generally will come to Crime Stoppers and speak to us in regards to doing a Crime of the Week or a reenactment to try to get people talking in the community and hopefully generate some anonymous tips. So that was one of our awards for the Auto Trader, so we thank them. We also just started a new relationship here in Hamilton with KX 94.7. They used to be Wave up by the Police Club on Wellington there. We have a great relationship with them now for those country fans. We have a weekly radio show that's played all weekend, and we won also for that, and that was for Best Radio Public Service Announcement. And this was in partnership with the Bear Unit. There was a lot of high-end entries into some of the vehicles up all over Hamilton, so we were able to get that information out through KX 94.7, and they're doing a great job up there. And finally, Best Radio Special Feature. This was, again, with a great partner here in Hamilton, 900 CHML. Ray McQueen and Bill Kelly worked closely with Crime Stoppers, and our past chair, Paul Crossman, was able to go on the show and speak about possible business sponsorships within the community, because as you know, Crime Stoppers is a nonprofit, so we're constantly trying to reach out to the community and get that support. And so that show was also put forward for consideration, and we won for that as well. So we just want to acknowledge our media partners, and without them we could not make this program as successful as it is. Amy is going to present to you our Productivity Award, which is one we're very, very proud of, so I'll let her do that.
This award is based purely on statistical data that we submit monthly to Crime Stoppers International. So it's not an award that we put in for, it's an award that's given out to those programs that have reached a milestone. So for communities in our population, which is 300,000 to 1 million, Crime Stoppers of Hamilton is proud to present that we've received the greatest increase in total property recovered, that's property recovered and drugs seized, for the year 2011, and that's solely, 100% based on the commitment to the Hamilton Police and their commitment and their dedication to the Crime Stoppers program. So we're very happy to share this with all the members of Hamilton Police Service.
Thank you very much.
prior to moving forward, item 4.4C, with respect to the bail safety program, I would draw the board's attention to the fact that the ministry has now extended funding to allow that program to continue to March of next year.
Still have to keep fighting though, because it's only until March of next year, right, Chief? Can we have a motion to, sorry?
I was gonna just point out, item 4.4E. Madam Chair.
Would you like that?
The question, no, I have a quick question, you know, to you, to the chief, obviously I think this is the one where they're trying to pick up the extra 10 megahertz.
That's correct.
So, Madam Chair, I guess, you know, I know that anytime I get word from Fred Bureau, he's pretty thorough. So, should we as a board be, you know, picking up this mantle here and writing on behalf of that support with that item would be my question through the chair to the chief. I mean, as a board, this is a big item that we've been going. We got to 10, but we need 10 more, as I understood it, through the chief.
That is correct, and this board has taken a public position on this issue previously and has forwarded their correspondence in support of that position. And certainly correspondence coming forward from the board again in relation to this would be something that's very
So, at the appropriate time, if I can do it now, I would make that motion that we do that.
You write a letter in support?
Yes.
Okay, second that by Jim King. Can I please ask now for a motion for the approval of the consent items? Thank you. Okay, on to the discussion agenda. 5.1.
Item 5.1, Chair and members of the board, I could ask Superintendent Shade to please join us here at the table, and I would like to acknowledge Dan Bowman.
He's here as well.
Hiding right in front of me. The request before the board is regarding a service recommendation to the board to pre-approve the expenditures of $1.38 million in totality for the acquisition of 40 vehicles for the service. In reviewing the work that has gone on by Superintendent Shea and Dan Bowman, I need to highlight to the board that in going back as far as 1997, the service spent approximately $2 million on vehicles. And here we are 15 years later, moving forward with a totality purchase in 2012 of 1.97, which is lower than that was spent in 1997. And given into consideration all of the issues that contribute to increased costs, these two gentlemen here have looked for the most cost-efficient purchasing strategies. We have joined the cooperative purchasing group of the province. They have developed strategies for turnover, maintenance, life cycle, lifespan of vehicles. We have utilized rentals versus purchases where we could. There is a strategy in place approved by the board in 2002 that deals with the purchase of all plane door cars being used. And we have continued to see tremendous benefits in their work over the years. We are certainly able, they are certainly able to address any of the questions that you may have regarding the purchasing. I wanted to outline for you their work, and not only in that area, but in the area of our facilities as well, which too fall to these two gentlemen. So thank you very much for your efforts.
Thank you, Chief.
Madam Chair, if I can, through the chief, just wanted to confirm that number is 1.57 or 1.9?
In 2012, 1.97.
Any other questions?
Madam Chair, the only thing I want to just address is, and Chief, you can confirm this, but I think it's very important that the public realize that we're attempting to be efficient. We went through the engine rebuilds, and that was an attempt that didn't really work in the final analysis, but I think it's important that in speaking to that, and so clear and understanding that, it's also got to be made very clear that we are providing our service with the equipment that meets not just the standard, but it takes care of the public safety and the proper equipment that our people require. So I just want to make sure that that's made very clear, and through you, Madam Chair, to Mike, that's obviously one of the major criteria in terms of meeting our needs. Is that not true?
Can I respond to that through you,
Yes.
Madam Chair? Yes, sir, and the purchase of used vehicles is only for our pool and for non-frontline cars. All frontline vehicles are purchased new through the police cooperative. All frontline vehicles now are going to be all-wheel drive, as was approved. And absolutely, officer safety is key for us.
And that's a fact that, for many reasons, it should be very public, that's the truth. Thank you.
Second time, though, if anybody else is, no? If I can, through you, Madam Chair, to the chief, can you remind me how many other departments participate in the cooperative? So we're joining forces with other municipalities, regional municipalities that are buying police vehicles as well, so we get a better price, but I can't recall how many
Sure,
are actually involved.
Through Madam Chair, it's open to all of the policing agencies in the province as well as the province of Ontario. So our numbers include OPP as well as the province of Ontario. And that's a fairly recent partnership. It initially started just for policing agencies, but because of the OPP numbers, we joined together, and it just made sense. I can't really think of any agency that's not part of it, quite frankly. Just about everyone is participating in it with us.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Can we have a motion to approve the recommendations of the report? Irene? Thank you. Okay, Bernie moves the schedule for 2013. Can we have a second then? Mayor, thank you. Chief, would you like to speak to 5.3, Crime Stoppers?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. What you have before you from Crime Stoppers is a outreach initiative. As you have just heard, they have, the service has been awarded through their relationship with Crime Stoppers for three awards on the international level. The one that was not mentioned earlier is an individual award that was presented from Crime Stoppers International to Patricia Gilly, a longtime member of the Hamilton Board and past president of the Ontario Association of Crime Stoppers. And she was presented with, as you heard Ron refer to, 1,200 programs worldwide. She was presented with an award at the conference for the Civilian of the Year. And so it is in fact the people in Crime Stoppers that make this a success. We're very fortunate in Hamilton to have Ron Rambaran, Brian Brown, Carol Gillespie, and our former director, Paul Crossman, involved in that, doing that work alongside with Patricia. One of the most significant components of the relationship of Crime Stoppers is with local business, and trying to raise the funds for the purpose of being able to support the tips that come in and the investigative work that gets done. This is correspondence that is received by the board asking for contribution to the Crime Stoppers initiative, and I would respectfully request time of the board to review this and bring back a recommendation at a future meeting as to how the service can properly support Crime Stoppers.
So can we have a motion to table that?
We'll receive the report and then I'll with direction to come back.
Bring it back?
Yep.
Okay.
So moved.
Bernie moves. Jim second. All in favor? Thank you. Can we have a discussion on the police towing overview?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members of the board, I'd ask Superintendent Bond to please join us. Superintendent Bond is responsible for overseeing this section of the service, and I understand that there was a discussion at the table at the last meeting that dealt with police towing and requests for an overview of the operation. That report has been prepared and is before you, and I would ask Superintendent Bond to present the report.
I think it was brought up by, through you, Madam Chair, I think it was brought up by the mayor in relation to the towing contracts. We did provide with you some documentation on how it basically works. It's been in place since 1993. We charge a $30 flat rate for non-security and security tows. There's 13 towing companies that operate within Hamilton. We ensure that a fair distribution of those tows through a company that does the communications through, dispatching through us. We negotiate the contract with the towing companies. The fee of $30 was negotiated with them. And other than that, that's all I can give you on that.
Okay, so I appreciate the report, Madam Chair. The request came from a meeting we had with the tow truck drivers to get the police overview on how things are going. It's obvious that this falls under consumer protection. Not criminal activity, I would think. But, and the understanding I had was reflected in your comment. Consideration of a set fee would go a long way to improving the potential abuse, but the issue of chasers will continue to exist. And that was the sentiment of the drivers. So I'll be happy to share this with them. And Madam Chair, it seems that the obvious answer was to have a dedicated compound to which all cars would be towed, so to monitor and regulate the policy. So there's no action on this. It was the information that I requested, which I will take back to them, and I appreciate it very much. Thanks.
Any other
Thanks.
questions?
Yeah, this is a long-standing challenge, obviously, but my question to you, Madam Chair, is that can we set a set fee? I mean, the chasers is one issue, and the whole operation of the towers. And through you, when I read the report, should we be, as a board, recommending to city bylaw that they look at a set fee? I mean, that would help us. It wouldn't eradicate chasers. I mean, chasers are following cars home now. I mean, it's just gotten really stupid, but it's not. It's very profitable, obviously. So I'm asking that question to you, to the chair. Would it be helpful if we send something off to council or to MLE, the city departments, to say that would be a help if it can be done within the legal framework of
Through you, Madam Chair, I believe bylaw is already looking at that through a bylaw where they're going to be requesting that all tow truck drivers have certain criteria to go by, and that they charge a flat rate, and that they would have to be charged through your bylaw, that they would actually charge a licensing fee. I think that's what you're looking at as far as the bylaw goes. That certainly would go a long way in establishing a flat fee. However, you have to realize some of the things about chasing is, one of the things is the vehicles are taken to the compound where they're worked on. That's where sometimes the money is gained and kickbacks are given. So although it would perhaps save some in the front end where the tow truck drivers are using are towing the vehicles, it may not cover everybody, but it certainly go a long way in if we did go that route.
Madam Chair, members of the board, there's a couple of important initiatives that have been identified through the service that have been advanced to the city for discussion. One of those, Superintendent Morrison, who is here, Caroline Giorgieri did a ton of research for us on police towing, police compounds, operating them as a city service, operating them as a part of a police service, having the police actually run the tow vehicles, run the pound, run the towing industry here. We have had a lot of dialogue about this. We've had meetings with the city, and we have advanced those issues towards the appropriate people that should carry those discussions on. That report has been done under the direction of Superintendent Morrison. One of the bylaw component of putting in place fees, I have seen that done before, where they carry the fee schedule, and they must produce the fee schedule at all calls when demanded, and then every citizen who comes in contact with them knows exactly what the approved fee schedule is. Then they're not subject to any interpretation. The other issue that is certainly a benefit of what we have done recently is you are well aware that we have gone to an encrypted radio system, which the chasers now do not have the ability to monitor. And what normally happened in the course of the broadcasts where a tow vehicle was required, the chasers would listen in, and then we have significant accidents, sometimes injuries, that occur with tow trucks that are then trying to race to get to the scene so that they can be the first on scene. was certainly a benefit of our encrypted radio, which has put an end to that. And I would ask Superintendent Morrison continue to participate in that dialogue with the city as that goes forward.
So we're gonna continue dialogue, and, cause even the encryption, I mean, the encryption is, when I reflect back, Chief, to the seventies and sixties, when I did drive a tow truck, you know, they were in place and we could monitor, but you know, there's so much new now, bus drivers have phones and, you know, taxi cabs are calling in, so the chasing has become very sophisticated. I'm no longer part of that industry, but I can tell you that it's, the encryption helps, but it certainly doesn't solve the problem. And in fact, it's so good today that the two issues that I really want to get at is if we could come up with a fee. I think that's a really good suggestion, and if then I'm to assume that this group, Paul, you're going to bring that to the table with our MLE people, and we're doing a lot of licensing work. That could be a very helpful piece. So, here are my comments. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Sure.
Can we have a motion to receive the report then? Mayor? Oh,
I
sorry.
just want to speak briefly that we were on what we call a public works tour in an articulated bus traveling all over the city. We were on a concession road and decided to just pull over to look at macadamized roads and all. Just then, one of those giant tow trucks that pulls buses pulled up and started backing up to hitch the bus up. And I thought, there's a Jason. This guy found a bus out of the middle of the concession road. And then we kind of waved him off and he just drove away. It's amazing.
Any other questions? Move to receive. Mayor, you gonna second that?
Yeah.
Thank you. Any new business? Chief?
Thank you, Chair, members of the board. The Hamilton Police Service, as required by law within the Police Services Act, has prepared the board's budget estimates for the operating year of 2013. At the direction of the chair, a public special meeting of this board to discuss the 2013 budget proposal is scheduled for Tuesday, November the 27th at 5 p.m. to take place at City Hall and Council Chambers. This meeting will be live streamed as approved by the board September 19th, 2011. This meeting is also going to be taped by Cable 14 for continued rebroadcast at later dates. The service will present the budget and outline the productivity and contribution of our members as they work towards public safety. The presentation will represent a very significant historical review of crime trends in our city, and more importantly, the impact of service programs that are focused on education, prevention, intervention, and enforcement. This budget presentation will be focused on what are the requirements in law to provide adequate and effective policing services, and how we will ensure that Hamilton citizens are as safe tomorrow as they are today. It will speak to the increasing demands, it will speak to increasing population, and will display the continued and ongoing commitment of this service to provide value for dollars that are invested by our citizens in policing. So we hope to see as many people out to the budget presentation next Tuesday at Council Chambers.
Thank you, Chief. Any other new business? Ryan?
I just wanted to, on behalf of the Hamilton Jewish Federation Holocaust Education Committee, I wanted to extend a thank you to the Hamilton Police Service, the Hamilton Spectator, Susan Claremont, in a collaborative effort to shed light on the forgotten genocide, the Roma genocide of the Roma and Sinti people, bringing forward issues that they faced then and today, and looking at it in a positive way to build bridges of understanding between the Hamilton Police Service, the Jewish community, and the wider community. And also to Dan Nolan for covering that story. And again, providing an opportunity to look at how we as a community learn to work together, live together, and ensure that all citizens have a place at the table. So I want to thank the Hamilton Police Service, Hamilton Spectator, for their participation in this event.
Any other new business? A motion to adjourn,